I'm sure you've all seen this pop-up. We ask you humbly, don't scroll away. Hi reader in the UK, it seems that you use Wikipedia a lot. That's great. This is the fourth appeal we've shown you. It's awkward, but this Tuesday, we need your help. We don't have salespeople. We depend on donations from exceptional readers, but fewer than 2% to give. If you donate just $2 or whatever you can this Tuesday, Wikipedia could keep thriving. Thank you. When you see this message, most of you probably feel a bit of guilt. You've probably used Wikipedia hundreds of times over the past year, and for the most part, it's been a great source of information. So you feel that Wikipedia's request for donations is very much justified. Now, most of you are probably not gonna follow through with this feeling and actually donate, but hey, it's the thought that counts, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe you shouldn't feel bad about skipping past this message at all. In fact, there are dozens of articles and discussion threads questioning Wikipedia's entire fundraising effort. It's the dishonesty of Wikipedia that bothers me. The implication is that donations are urgently needed to keep the website running. In reality, they have $300 million in the bank and revenue is growing every year. For a few years, I was like, yeah man, y'all are doing good work, here's $25. Now, they hound me. It's a little off-putting. Without many people realizing, Wikipedia has become the world's most aggressive online chugger. It's okay to say no. And it's not just a few extremists online who share this perspective, but even Wikipedia's own ex-public outreach officer, Pete Forsyth. I have simply lost faith in the integrity of the Wikimedia Foundation's fundraising operation. I'm honestly ashamed to tell people that I used to work in the fundraising department there, though I believe the work we did was valuable. But why? What did Wikipedia do that was bad enough to turn its own fundraising staff against them? Well, let's find out. If you're interested in deeper dives, interviews with insiders, and exclusive tech analysis, consider subscribing to our free weekly newsletter. But anyway, one of the biggest critiques against Wikipedia's fundraising efforts is the entire fundamentals and mechanics of Wikipedia. Just think about it. What gives Wikipedia its value? Well, it's obviously the millions of articles about any topic that you can read completely for free. But it's not the Wikimedia Foundation that writes or curates any of this content. In fact, they make that clear on their own Wikipedia page. Instead, all of the writing and editing work is done by a bunch of volunteers like this guy. Apparently, this guy has played a part in 1/3 of all Wikipedia articles. But when you donate to Wikipedia, none of that money actually goes towards the writer who made the website possible. Instead, the money goes to the Wikimedia Foundation, which has somehow managed to convince thousands of people to work for them for free. And let's be clear here, these are the people who actually make Wikipedia possible, and no one knows this better than Wikipedia themselves. You see, before Wikipedia became a thing, its founder, Jimmy Wales, was trying to get a much more robust encyclopedia off the ground called Nupedia. With Nupedia, Jimmy was trying to create the #1 factual encyclopedia on the web, and as such, he assembled a large group of academics and implemented a rigorous review process. This consisted of 7 steps, including assignment, finding a lead reviewer, lead review, open review, lead copy editing, open copy editing, and final approval and markup. But despite emailing 2,000 interested editors and having their own in-house full-time editor-in-chief, Nupedia was only able to put out 12 articles throughout their entire first year. It turns out that asking a bunch of experts to spend their free time writing encyclopedia articles for free wasn't all that appealing. Given the extremely slow production speed, Nupedia began thinking of ways to organize knowledge faster, and one of these suggestions was opening up writing to the community. The idea was that these community-driven articles could be used as a base for experts to review and edit, after which the article could be posted on Nupedia. Much of the Nupedia organization was actually strongly opposed to this idea because they felt that it took away from the credibility of Nupedia. And that's partially why Wikipedia was launched under a new domain as a completely separate side project. They wanted to keep Nupedia and Wikipedia as distinct as possible while also speeding up the production speed of Nupedia. Unfortunately, the production speed of Nupedia never really increased, but Wikipedia would explode beyond their wildest dreams. Wikipedia.com was officially launched on January 15, 2001. Within a month, Wikipedia had 1,000 articles. Within 8 months, Wikipedia had 10,000 articles. And by the end of the first year, Wikipedia had 20,000 articles. As you can see, it was clearly the community that made Wikipedia successful as opposed to the team behind the project. With that being said, many argue that it makes little sense to donate to the Wikipedia team as a way of thanking the community. Many take this sentiment one step further and argue that it's unfair that a small group is able to enrich themselves based on the work of the community at large. I mean, this is obviously how capitalism works, but Wikimedia is technically supposed to be a non-profit. So the argument is, why donate to a non-profit organization that basically operates like a for-profit? At least with for-profits, some of the revenue or even a large amount of the revenue goes towards the employees. With Wikipedia, however, none of it goes to the writers who actually make the platform valuable. Now, a lot of you are probably saying that there's a lot more that goes into running Wikipedia than just writing articles, and you're absolutely right. And that brings us to the topic of what happens to all the money that is raised. Wikipedia is the 5th most visited website in the world, pulling in 9.8 billion visits every single month. So naturally, you would think that you need a bunch of engineering talent to maintain the tech infrastructure of Wikipedia. But that's not actually the case due to the extreme simplicity of the site. Wikipedia isn't hosting millions of 4K videos or having to constantly develop a recommendation algorithm. They just have to host a bunch of text. In fact, if you take out the supplementary media that articles sometimes have, the entirety of Wikipedia can be compressed down to just 22.14 gigabytes. In other words, the entirety of Wikipedia can be stored on an $8 SD card. Now, of course, storing this information is not the same as serving it to 9.8 billion visitors every single month, but the latter is a lot easier than you might think. In fact, this is exactly how the Pirate Bay operates in 2024. The original website was taken down 10 years ago, but we still see duplicates of the website all over the place because it's extremely easy to host. The entirety of the Pirate Bay can be compressed down to just 90 megabytes, so whenever one version of the site is taken down, another one pops up in no time. Now, Wikipedia is a lot larger than 90 megabytes, but the same logic applies, and you don't have to just take my word for it. In fact, here's Jimmy Wales, the co-founder of Wikipedia, bragging about how cheap it is to run the site.
So we're doing around 1.4 billion page views monthly, so it's really gotten to be a huge thing. And everything is managed by the volunteers, and the total monthly cost for our bandwidth is about $5,000, and that's essentially our main cost. We could actually do without the employee.
Let me repeat that. Only $5,000 per month to support 1.4 billion monthly page visits, and they don't even need a full-time employee. Wikipedia receives 7 times the visits nowadays, but that's still only $35,000 per month. We can even assume that cloud costs have doubled since Jimmy made the statement, and it would still only cost $70,000 per month. You can even throw in 3 full-time engineers and pay them each $10,000 per month, and you'd only be at $100,000 per month or $1.2 million per year. That's actually insane to think about. The world's 5th most visited website can be kept operational for just a little more than $1 million per year. Now, of course, that would be a super bare bones operation, but do you want to guess how much the Wikimedia Foundation pulls in every year thanks to donations? Well, the answer is a whopping $180 million. In other words, 1 year's worth of donations is enough to keep Wikipedia alive for approximately 150 years. Now again, that is assuming bare bones operations, but even with a far more generous annual budget of $10 million, 1 year worth of donations is enough to sustain Wikipedia for 18 years. Where are all these extra donations going, you ask? Well, most of it is not actually going to Wikipedia. 32% goes towards direct support to communities, which includes a bunch of grants and side projects that Wikimedia is involved in. 13% goes towards admin, and 12% goes towards fundraising. Only 43% actually goes towards website maintenance, and Wikipedia is just one website that they maintain. The money you donate is also going towards supporting and developing all of these other wiki products. I should also mention that the foundation is profitable. Technically, as a nonprofit, they don't have profit, but they do have excess donations. In fact, they currently have $250 million worth of excess donations. Even at $10 million per year, Wikimedia can sustain Wikipedia for another 25 years without you ever donating. Also, it's not like Wikimedia is just holding a bunch of cash. They invest their cash. As of 2 years ago, they had $46 million in corporate bonds, $21 million in mortgage-backed securities, and $73 million in treasuries, and that's just short-term investments. They also had $3.9 million in long-term corporate bonds, $25 million in stocks, $5.9 million in long-term mortgage securities, and $4.8 million in long-term treasuries. With a total of $180 million in investments, Wikimedia is likely able to consistently generate $10 million in annual returns. And that brings us to Wikipedia's donation controversy. As you can see, Wikipedia is doing just fine financially, and your donation is not actually helping to keep the website alive. Instead, your donation is just helping Wikimedia found a bunch of programs that you probably didn't even know that they were involved in. And this is really the crux of the ethics problem surrounding Wikipedia's fundraising effort. They make it seem like without your donation, Wikipedia will have to shut down next year. But really, it barely costs any money to keep Wikipedia alive, none of the money you donate will actually go to the people writing the articles, and Wikimedia already has a boatload of money. Wikipedia was never in any danger of shutting down or even coming close, and most of the money you donate doesn't even go towards Wikipedia itself. It actually goes towards a bunch of projects that you're not even familiar with. With all that being said, I don't want to paint Wikipedia as too much of a villain because they're not. The amount of value they provide to the world is far more than the 100 or 200 million that they consume in donations every year. And it's perfectly fine that they engage in community-oriented projects outside of just Wikipedia. All that people are really criticizing is the misleading way that Wikipedia is going about getting these donations. Instead of guilting people into donating using these dire-looking pop-ups, it would be far more ethical to come clean and tell people that Wikipedia is doing just fine, but that donations could help develop projects with similar altruistic motives and goals. And as a non-profit, I think that Wikimedia is obligated to do this, but that's just what I think. If you would like to put your money to work just like Wikipedia and have top companies and the government pay you, check out our bond investing platform, Silo, in the description below. But until then, I'm Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.